You know nothing. What do? You establish a center, you explore from the center, it's a domain of safety, and that's surrounded by the unknown. So, and that's what children do. We already know this. If you watch how children explore, it's more evident if you look at children who are somewhat inhibited. Because really extroverted and emotionally stable children, they'll just explore, they won't recede. But children that are sort of balanced in their emotional response, imagine you bring a 18-month-old to a new playground. A mother's standing there, she's the pillar at the center of the world. Around her is explored territory. And the reason it's explored is because the child knows how to interact with the mother. And so one thing you want to know about kids is you can have multiple caregivers for your kids. You can have a nanny, you can put them in daycare, but they do not like having their primary caregiver switched. It's like everything transforms when that happens, and it destabilizes them badly. So if you're going to have other people take care of your kids, it's better that it's the same other person. Well, obviously, I mean, they're going to form an intimate and loving relationship with them with any luck, and if that disappears, it's like a death. But it's worse than that in some sense, or the reason that the death is bad, because the child's conceptual world, their familiar world, family, their familiar world collapses. So children hate that. Now they can bond to multiple people, that's not a problem, but they do not like having their caregivers shifted, because that defines their territory. So the child is adapted to the mother's presence and has been ever since birth if everything's gone well. So it's a place of security and stability, partly because the child knows how to act around the mother, but also partly because if the child encounters anything that he or she doesn't understand while in the presence of mother, the mother will instantly intervene to provide the knowledge necessary to encapsulate the unexpected occurrence. Okay, so the child's by the mother, and maybe he's holding on, and that gives him ventral contact. It's comforting, it produces opiates, it decreases pain, it's directly comforting. And so then the child is, maybe they're shy, they're going to take a few looks at what's around first and they're frozen, clinging to something secure, and then if nothing negative happens, they start to relax, just like a rat that's been put into a new cage. They start to relax, and they'll start to look, and that's the first manifestations of voluntary exploratory behavior. And maybe if there's other people around, they'll look and smile, and then they'll hide, right? And the smile is an invitation to play or interact. But so it's a foray out into the world. Smile, eye contact, then hide. Maybe they'll do that multiple times and get a game going. That establishes something stable going on between them and the stranger. Does the stranger know how to play? And then maybe they'll loosen up and they'll start to explore, and then they go out away from the mother and start interacting with the world until something happens that overwhelms them. Then they'll run back, get a hug, maybe have a sleep because maybe they've processed enough, and then you can encourage them to go back. And so what they're doing is they have the flag planted on an unknown territory. That's mom, the flag, right? They circulate around there because it's secure. Make forays outwards where the dragons are, gather what's of interest, and if it's too much, they run back. And then the mom says, it's okay, no problem, you know, or gives them a little, you know, rock, or maybe feeds them something, and lets them have a little rest, and then off you go, play again, out they go again. And so what the child is doing is continually moving out, extending its explored territory into the unknown, just like the Star Trek Voyagers, and then moving back to security, and then moving out farther, and then moving back to security. And hopefully at some point they carry with them their own security once they become competent. But once you've incorporated all the competence of your parents, you don't need to go back. Well, and even if you do, it isn't going to help. You've transcended this security, and that's what makes you an adult. Hopefully that happens.